Now let's go ahead and add the rest of the wings on the front of the car. Alright, so once you've got the wings with the kind of detail that you want here, and you've got kind of one completed, now we can use this and just duplicate it along and add a few more. Now I think we want to have maybe 4. You could make 5 or 3 or whatever you want to do, but you just want to scale them appropriately so that they sort of overlap. Okay, so you have to maybe do a little bit of testing. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D to duplicate this one, and I'll pull it forward a bit. And let's go ahead and just pull it down slightly. Okay, and you can see how over here it's starting to, this one's starting to overlap here, but we'll have to do a little bit of tweaking as well. You can also hit 3 to smooth these just to get a little bit better preview of what's going on. You can take this, and let's go ahead and smooth the car as well so that everything is at its proper resolution there so that we can see what's going on here. So I'll pull these down a bit just to help with the overlap. And now you can see we'd like to bend this, but we don't really have the resolution here right now. So let's go ahead and add a line right in here. And you can do that up here too if you find that your curve is a little bit too extreme and you're not able to achieve that curve with your wing. And then we can take those front points and we'll go ahead and move those down. We can take this part, kind of move it up if we want to, and just kind of shape this to fit a little bit more closely. It doesn't have to be exact, but we just want it to be a little bit closer. And go ahead and pull this down so it's got a little bit more of an overlap there. And because we don't want the wing to be too bowed like this, we can pull this middle one down too, this middle line, so it's a little bit straighter. Okay, and even that out, pull these down a bit. So you have to do a little bit of shaping in here, but that's okay. I'm going to take these, pull these in, and they can be fairly close. I just don't want them to intersect with one another. All right, so there's the second one, and if you want to, you can go ahead and duplicate this one. Again, I'm not changing the width from front to back. I'm not scaling them in that way. And this one, pull over. And just barely overlapping. And now if you find that you need to pull this down, you may not want to have all that resolution in here in this direction. So what we can do is just select edge loop tool, go ahead and select that edge loop and then delete it. And then you can pull that down right there. You don't have that resolution in there to worry about. You can also just rotate it. If you find that you want the whole thing to sort of bend down there, you can rotate that. Keeping in mind that you might have to fix this front part here a little bit. And maybe pull this back. We might want to pull these forward just so we can get this little kind of shape in there. I kind of like that. Maybe you want to make sure that we can see that in all of our wings there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and scale this one down just a little bit so we have enough room here. And we'll go ahead and duplicate this again. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and put 4 in. But just kind of do whatever you feel like. And you can see how the angle here, we might have to go ahead and select these and just rotate them just a little bit so that they fit in there nicely. And move them up a bit. We may have to do some tweaking on this to make sure that it all fits right. And now this one, you can see we probably need to take out quite a bit. So let's go ahead and take out maybe that one and shift click that one. We'll go ahead and delete that. You can see I'm getting a little bit of penetration under here because of this. So go ahead and pull those points down. grab these points. If you want to go ahead and smooth it first, you can. Grab those points and pull them in. And as you can see, as you start to bring it in here a little bit closer, this one's really, really, really close. So you might want to even take out a little bit more resolution. You might have to also scale this down a little bit, maybe rotate it to a certain degree. You don't want it to get too wavy and lumpy. You want it to still look fairly straight. Go ahead and take this one out. And let's go ahead and take that one out. Grab those points. And we'll just pull them in. You can see how it's a little bit too wide right now. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit narrower. So we pull this in. And we grab those points, pull them out a bit, rotate them down. Something like that, and then we can pull those in so they're, again, underneath that one behind it or above it. Something more like that. And so just so it kind of creates that framework that goes over the wheel. And then we'll have to do some tweaking here with this, or we can kind of bring this down a little. And we can bring these points up just slightly. Again, trying to maintain an even look there. Alright, so just kind of take a look around here, make sure that this is kind of scaled appropriately. If you want this to fill up that opening there, we can take this right here and just shape this a little more, so this front one. You could also angle it a little bit more, so we could rotate it just a little bit, just depending on what we need. So you can see how that looks. Doesn't look all that great pulling in there, so I'll go ahead and straighten this out. And so you can just do a little bit of shaping here. Pull this up, grab these and pull them back. Just so it kind of fits in there nicely. So just take a look from a few different angles. You can see we might want to pull this part down. Try to maintain the straightness of here, but you can change that just a little bit so that you can, so that these are sort of overlapping there. Okay? And you can see we have the detail. We might want to go ahead and move some of this so that the detail lines up, if that's what you want to do. Like that. You can see, and then you could maybe rotate that a little bit so that that detail lines up right in there. If that's what you're going for. And then we can do that as sort of a chrome piece in opposition to this, which will probably be the color of the car. So just go in and duplicate the wings that you've created and just kind of put them into place. And you want to be careful of creating any lumps here. So you might have to play with the size and scale. It looks like I could maybe widen this one up a bit. Just play around with that so that you fill up the area that we've created here and just create a little framework over our wheel. Alright, so once you've got that done, let's go ahead and come in the next lesson and start to detail the canopy. Right now it's a very low resolution piece. We'll talk a little bit about our control surfaces that we're working with and when to up our resolution so that we can get a little bit more detail in there. So let's go ahead and work on the canopy starting in the next lesson.